Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Comp Lab students. So, we are nearing the end of the semester, and you've done a lot of work in both the comp class and the lab class. Specifically in the comp class, you have been writing very specific essays that are helping build up your essay writing skills. But I want to go through now with all the skills you've gathered in the lab class and work on the essays that you have turned into me and work on maybe making those better and revising them. So here's what I want you to do for the eulogy that you turned in for me. To work on revising your eulogy, copy and paste it into a Microsoft Word document. Now, if you do not have Word, please remember you can get it for free from the portal where you log in with your student ID and your password under resources. Don't buy it, it's for free. Put it in Word though. Make sure to save it to the desktop or a jump drive or somewhere where you know how to save it, okay? Wherever you want to save it. In the Word document, I want you to click on the Review tab. Under Review, I want you to click Track Changes. That will show me every change you make in your essay. Once you have clicked Track Changes icon, I want you to click on Track Changes. Any change you make from deleting to adding will be made known here. Once you have selected Track Changes, make sure you go back to the Home tab. Make sure your font is set to Times New Roman 12-point font. Okay. From there, click on the Paragraph section under the Home tab. Once you've clicked on Paragraph, on this little bitty box right here, this box right here will pop up. And this is where you go in and you can physically change any sort of spacing and indentations and other stuff in your essay. I want you to make sure that you change the line spacing to double underneath spacing, and then select the box that says add space between paragraphs of the same style. That will take away excessive spacing between your paragraphs. Hit save, okay? This will ensure that you do not lose the work you have done so far. Trust me. The first step in revising your eulogy is to make sure that you follow the MA format guidelines. So guidelines are always Times New Roman font, 12-point font, double spacing, which you have those three things now. Last name and page number in upper right-hand corner of the paper, so in the header. Front page formatting should include student name, class, instructor name, date, and day, month, year formatting, which is the date it was turned in, and then your title, which will be centered. If you do not have the proper MLA formatting, correct it. Your paper will track the changes that you make. It's going to look like this. So your name, the class you're in, you can put Composition 1, or you can put EN12003, whatever the alphabet letter is behind it, my name, the date, and then the title. From there, we're going to look at your introduction and thesis statement. Your introduction for the eulogy was a 2-paragraph introduction, as you remember. Basic information, then the actual introduction. The first paragraph was your basic, where you're giving your reader just your name, the day you died, your surviving family members, the day you were born, all that basic information stuff. Check over your first paragraph and make sure it followed the standard format. You can also go in and look at the rubric that was used to score this. The second paragraph moves into the actual eulogy and the actual writing you were doing for this. So this is going to have qualities about yourself as well as a thesis statement and transition into your stories or your anecdotes. Look at your second paragraph. In green, highlight the thesis statement that you wrote down. Okay? So remember, the thesis statement should have been the last sentence of your second paragraph that essentially said, I'm going to tell this story or stories. If you do not have one, you will need to add one to your essay. If you add it in, highlight it in blue. Consider the qualities you discussed about yourself. What did you talk about? How did you describe yourself? What changes do you need to make to this paragraph concerning the qualities? Make those changes. And you can pause here if you need to. All right, you're back. Click on the Review tab again once you're done making all your changes. Use your mouse to highlight your entire introduction once you do that. In the Review tab, with the paragraph highlighted, click New Comment. A comment bubble is going to appear to the side. Explain the changes you made to your paragraph in that bubble. Why did you make them and what purposes do they serve? Tell me what you did and why you did it. Now, you're back again. Now we're moving on to the first story that you told me. And if you only told one story, that is fine. Change the font color of your entire first story to orange. So all that story that you told me should be orange. Look over your story as a whole and answer the following questions to yourself. Does it tell a good story? And if you say no, consider why not. If you say yes, consider why. Is there enough detail in it to tell that story? Do you have enough descriptions in there to make me feel and be in that story with you? Does it get across the quality you are trying to portray about yourself? If you were talking about being selfless, does that story show me you're selfless? Why or why not? Make changes to the story as you see fit. Add detail if you need to. Change the story completely. Make the story you told me stronger and better. If you find any grammatical issues within the writing, correct that as well. And keep in mind, turn it in where you turned in that final draft. We'll mark some grammatical issues. We looked at that last time in one of the other submodules. Consider it and change them if you want to. From there, you're going to click on the Review tab again. You're going to use your mouse to highlight your entire second paragraph or your entire story. And in the Review tab, with that highlighted, click New Comment. When that comment bubble pops up, explain the changes you made to your first story. Why did you make them? What purposes do they serve? If you made no changes, why did you not make changes? Now, if you added a second story, if you did a second one, you can stay right here and we'll go over this, or you can move on. Essentially going to be the same with everything else, except the second story is going to be purple in font color. So keep that in mind. Now we're going to look at the transitions if you told two stories. Again, if you didn't do this, we're going to skip over this part. Look at the transition you make between your first and second anecdote or story. Is it a smooth transition between the anecdotes that ties the two together? If not, fix the transition. Make sure it connects the two qualities in the stories together. And now we're on to the conclusion. Look over the conclusion that you wrote. Does it effectively wrap up your eulogy? Does it address any qualities you may have previously mentioned in that introduction that you wrote? Make any changes that you see fit to your conclusion. Download the final edited draft as a PDF and you will upload it. And also make sure that you keep a copy of that PDF because you're going to use it for the final portfolio as well. I know this is a lot. You guys have gone through it though. This is just another look at how writing works because I want you to understand that writing is a recursive process. It never really ends. You turned in a final draft, but this is now your new final draft to me with lots of changes made, especially in colors, but this is a new final draft. So keep that in mind as you're writing, that writing is recursive and it's never fully done. Things can always and will always change. Look forward to seeing all the changes you make, guys. Have a great day. Bye.